Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. In this one, I will discuss the patch notes for today's update in Black Ops Cold War as well as Warzone. So of course guys, if you weren't already aware, a little bit earlier today, there was a brand new update in Cold War multiplayer zombies as well as Warzone, introducing some interesting new content. For example, a brand new gunfight tournament, new playlist, as well as a sneak peek at Cold War Season 5. So that's what I'm going to be discussing in today's video, and if you guys are looking forward to this one and you go on to enjoy it, make sure you leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications so that way you guys will not miss any of the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class ups, and all kinds of things like that. So without further ado, now that I got the intro out of the way, let's dive right into it. And alright, so interestingly enough, today's update in Cold War is likely the second final update that we are going to be seeing in Cold War Season 4. Of course, Season 5 will be releasing on August 12th, which is only 14 days away at the time of making this video. So with that in mind, let's actually read the patch notes, which I'm going to be reading the introductory paragraph as it typically highlights the major pieces of new content that we are going to be receiving. So on the Treyarch webpage, it states, and I quote, "Subject, a new gunfight tournament arrives, plus collateral combined arms 24/7, 3v3 gunfight snipers only, 12v12 mosh pit, and more." Additionally, they go on to state, a new gunfight tournament arrives this week with all new exclusive rewards to earn by fighting your way through all 4 rounds of the tournament with your duo partner. Remember, if you haven't unlocked the rewards from previous gunfight tournaments, you can still jump in and earn previous rewards by winning your way through the multiple brackets. Furthermore, we're delivering collateral combined arms 24/7 this week for everyone to jump into a mix of massive vehicle-fueled battles on our latest 12v12 map. 3v3 gunfight snipers only, 12v12 mosh pit, and face-off 6v6, and more also continue in this week's featured playlist. We've also added SatLink to the multi-team mosh pit playlist for even more variety for 40-player fans. In Zombies, today's update also brings a new collection of stability fixes and gameplay improvements, including fixes for issues with the main quest in Klaus and Mauer der Toten, unresponsive mimics in Firebase Z, various stability issues, and more. And for campaign players, we fixed a rare crash that could occur when reaching checkpoints in the single player story. And alright, so that's quite a bit of information, and let's unpack it a little bit. So first and foremost, we are going to be getting a brand new gunfight tournament. This is pretty par for the course. We've been seeing new gunfight tournaments regularly being added into the game every couple weeks or so. And of course, for this particular gunfight tournament, it will be a 2v2 gunfight tournament. So if you do enjoy the tournaments, make sure you grab your duo so that way you can complete it. That said, this particular tournament will be running identical to every other tournament in the game, and of course if you complete it, you are going to be getting double XP as well as a brand new weapon blueprint. So if you're interested in all of that, this particular gunfight tournament is now live. Now one thing that I find very interesting, and as they stated, if you haven't unlocked the rewards from previous gunfight tournaments, you can still jump in and earn previous rewards by winning your way through multiple brackets. So how this will be working is if, let's say, you play every single gunfight tournament except for, let's say, the last 2. That means for this gunfight tournament, you are going to be winning the bracket, getting the reward, then the next gunfight tournament that you are going to be loading into will be the newest gunfight tournament, and then you are going to be getting the rewards from that. So that's really useful. If you really want to get all of the rewards, you won't be missing out, so you can always catch up. And with that said, now let's move on down and talk about the brand new playlists that are going to be added into the game, and one of them is Collateral Combined Arms 24/7. Of course, if you guys weren't already aware, Collateral is a brand new 12v12 map that was added in with Cold War Season 4, and they decided to make it a 24/7 playlist. So if you guys are a fan of Combined Arms, then you'll be happy to know that there is the brand new 24/7 playlist. Now one thing that is very good are the playlists that are going to be continuing this week, and those are of course are 3v3 gunfight snipers only, 12v12 mosh pit, as well as face-off 6v6, and the main one that I want to talk about is the 12v12 mosh pit, because the 12v12 mosh pit, if I'm not mistaken, was added in at either the end of Season 3 or right at the beginning of Season 4, and everyone enjoyed it because it's 12v12 on 6v6 maps, which means it's very hectic and it allows you to get a lot of kills. And of course the 12v12 mosh pit was only re-added into the game last Thursday, so that's why it's great that this playlist will be continuing for another week. And that said, now I want to take a bit of time and talk about Black Ops Cold War Season 5. I mentioned this quite a bit in my last video, and that's how Season 5 will be releasing very shortly. And a little bit earlier today, we did end up receiving the Season 4 outro cinematic, which if you guys didn't already know, whenever there's a new season, we do end up receiving the cinematic for that particular season. Then just before the next season releases, there is an outro cinematic that kind of ties together the storyline a little bit, and of course we did end up receiving the outro cinematic for Season 4. Now with that said, if you go on down to the article, Treyarch specifically states Season 5 approaches, and they go on to state, having broken cover with Jackal's all-out assault on a US ground station and the subsequent destruction of the Jump Seat satellite constellation, Perseus continues to press their advantage. Using a dead drop, the critical data stolen by Wraith and Knight is passed to an operator with unique skills required to execute Stitch's endgame. Watch the official Season 4 outro cinematic and get ready for what's coming next. guys, things are about to heat up in Black Ops Cold War and across Verdansk. Now that's really interesting, and it really sets the storyline up very well for when Season 5 officially releases, because whenever there is a brand new season, there's always a new antagonist operator. Of course, Stitch was that operator for Season 1, Naga was that operator for Season 2, Wraith was that operator for Season 3, and of course Jackal is that operator for Season 4. As they alluded by saying, the critical data stolen by Wraith and Knight is passed to an operator with the unique skills required to execute Stitch's endgame, as of course talking about the antagonist operator for Season 5, who of course we are going to be hearing about very shortly, as Season 5 is going to be releasing in 2 weeks from now. So with that in mind, reeling it back into Season 4, interestingly enough, starting tomorrow, we are going to be seeing a double weapon XP weekend, and of course they go on to state, get ready to level up your entire arsenal all weekend long, as double weapon XP weekend begins in Black Ops Cold War and Warzone. Jump in and get on the grind starting at 10 o'clock AM Pacific Standard Time on Friday, July 30th through August 2nd. And alright, now that I got the news out of the way, let's actually talk about the real patch notes for today's update. So starting off with zombies, they addressed an issue that prevented a quest item from dropping when the Megaton was killed by the ghost train. Additionally, they addressed an issue that caused Klaus to become unresponsive until he recharged after he used a melee on a zombie while he completed a quest step. They also addressed an issue that caused Klaus to deploy for a shorter duration than expected after previously activating a side quest while he was deployed. And they also addressed a rare issue that caused the Krasny Soldat to stop chasing players between buildings. For Firebase Lee, they addressed a rare issue that caused the Mimic to become unresponsive, and then for Onslaught on PlayStation, they addressed an issue that could often cause enemies to stop spawning during an Onslaught accelerated match. So with that said, now let's move on down and talk about the multiplayer patch notes, where they added in a sat link to the multi-team mosh pit playlist, and the featured playlists for this week are Gunfight Tournament, which is new, Collateral Combined Arms 24/7, Nuke Jack 24/7, 3v3 Gunfight Snipers Only, Face Off 6v6, 12v12 Mosh Pit, Cranked Mosh Pit, Party Games, and of course multi-team. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the patch notes for today's update in Black Ops Cold War. Now before I end off today's video, I do want to talk about the playlist update that happened in Warzone. So interestingly enough, what were added into Warzone is Rebirth Island Resurgence Quads, Verdansk Plunder Trios, and what was removed is Rebirth Island Resurgence Trios and Verdansk Plunder Quads, and what will be remaining the same is Verdansk LTM Payload. And honestly, today's playlist update was really good in my opinion. I know a lot of people really enjoy Resurgence Quads on Rebirth Island, so if you do enjoy that, you will be happy to know that was added back into the game. And they also kept the Payload limited time mode, which if I'm not mistaken was only added in last week, so it will be continuing for another week. And that said, one thing that I find very interesting, and that's in the patch notes, they never mentioned the Mace DLC weapon, which is the final DLC weapon for Season 4 and will be added in before Season 5 releases in 2 weeks. So since they didn't mention it in this week's weekly briefing or in the patch notes for today's update, it pretty much confirms that the Mace DLC weapon will be added into the game next Thursday. So that's really interesting in my opinion, of course, as the final DLC weapon of Season 4, and then one more week after that, we'll have Cold War Season 5. So yeah guys, with that said, that's gonna effectively wrap up today's video. I hope you went on to enjoy it, and if you did, don't forget to leave the like on it down below, as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications so that way you guys will not miss any of the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class slips, and all kinds of things like that. So thank you once again for watching this video. I'm your host Deeper Jungle, and I hope to see you in the next one.